Hello there. So today we are going to see check if all ones are at least length k places away. So the inputs given are an integer array and an integer value k. So here we have to find whether the ones are apart the distance at least k. So let's get into the problem. So here is our first example. Our arrays are having only ones and zeros. So we have to find whether every array has a distance of at least k. So in our first example, our k is equal to 2. If you consider our first value is 1 and the second one is there at the position 5. So in between it has a distance of 3, that is 3 zeros are placed in between two ones. And if you consider the other one is at the last position and in between it has two zeros, so it also satisfies the condition. So yes, all the ones are placed at least k places away. So the output is true. So at least is the key here. So the zeros between every ones can be 2 or more than 2. So it is a very pretty simple straightforward algorithm where we are going to have a variable count which and a loop checks whether the number is 1 or 0. If it is a 0, it is going to iterate the count because the count is going to calculate the gaps between the ones. So if it is a 0, this is the only thing we're going to do. We just iterate the count. If not, if it is a 1, if the number is equal to 1, then it is going to check whether the count is less than k or not. Why less than k? Because it should have at least 0 k zeros in between ones. So in that case we are going to check whether count is less than k. If the count is less than k, return false. Why? Because the zeros between ones are at least k, so the count should be equal to or greater than k. If it is less than k, then it doesn't satisfy the condition. So return false, and every time we check the condition, we're gonna make count to 0. Because every time it meets a 1, it again have to start its counting to count the number of zeros. It is that simple. Let's code it. So we're gonna initiate a variable count is equal to nums.length plus 1. When it checks the condition for the first time, it should be greater than k. If not, the code will return false. So then we are going to have a for loop to iterate all the integers in nums array, and we're going to check if the number is equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, then we again going to check whether the count is less than k. If the count is less than k, clearly the logic fails and it returns false. If not, if the count is greater than or equal to k, then set the count to 0 so that it will start counting its second or next series of zeros from after 1. So if the number is not is equal to 1 and equal to 0, then we have to increment the counter. So yes, now we're gonna return true if the loop completes, because if the loop completes, then every ones are at the position we expected. Let's run. Thank you.